As an advocate for individuals with disabilities, I get it that all of us will someday acquire a disability if we but live long enough. I get it, but I didn't want to get it for myself. I didn't expect it to happen to me. I grew up complacently, accepting the ease with which all academic endeavors came to me. Rarely did I study. I accepted my master's degrees summa cum laude. I didn't know what it meant at the time. I found out afterwards. My IQ test scores confirmed a genius rating. Doors could open for whatever path I wanted to pursue. I wanted to teach kids with special needs. But in 1995, I was air evac to Vera's Neurological Hospital in Phoenix for brain surgery after a cerebral hemorrhage from a ruptured aneurysm deep in the center of my brain. I don't actually remember any of those days. About 2 months of time during that period are reconstructed memories for me. I ended up having 2 craniotomies. The first one didn't work right, and they had to go back in after a week. I had had a slow dance with death, but I didn't give in. I found out that at that time, 87% of the people who had the medical event that I did, when I did not live. Of the few who did, most are still in the nursing homes. Wow. I was home, alert, and alive. I was assured, and I found comfort in the words, "With all who live, there is hope." In the beginning of my recovery, there wasn't much I could do on my own. I needed a lot of care. My daughter Amy came home from her favorite job up in the Tetons, and she left that. I came home, and for years she took care of bathing me, showering me, and walking me. Thank you, Amy. We didn't know the extent of my brain damage or what skills I would recover. Strangely enough, I looked almost the same as I did before. I now had plates in my head, lots of screws. One sticks out right here. If you want to feel it afterwards, you can. And I had titanium clips inside my brain. But with enough hairspray to cover the 11-inch scar that traces across my skull, you might not know it's ever happened. My disability was hidden. After months of rehabilitation, I was determined that I wanted to go back to work. The trouble was, I had pain, acute pain. Back then, the surgeons told me to just be happy that I was alive, as they condescendingly patted me on the head. There's an old Irish proverb that says, "Hope is the physician of each misery." Normal retirement was 16 years away. It seemed unattainable, impossible, especially on the days when the pain was so bad that I felt I was just simply existing. Clouded in pain, I would breathe deeply through each moment, thankful as it passed. My family helped give me injections for the pain. Even my youngest would do it. He learned. He'd grit his teeth, and he learned. We tried Western, Eastern, traditional, and I got to tell you, some really far-out methods for pain management. Some days, though, still, it's only all about hope. I hope that if I just wake up and take a shower, it'll be better. Maybe if I eat lunch, it won't be so bad. All day long, I set little goals of hope. About 9 years ago, morphine was released in a tablet form. I can personally gauge and adjust my dose to keep up with the pain. It has opened up the world for me all over again. I very seldom have days anymore when I have to hide away in the shadows, waiting out the pain, waiting for it to subside. Becoming accustomed to a disability is a personal journey, and each person's journey is their own. Lingering from days when people with disabilities were hidden away, and embarrassment and shame to family and community. The stigma of having a disability is still felt by many individuals. Too many times, people with disabilities are defined by what they are not. Even the very word speaks of it. They are disabled. The absence of ability. Deprived of ability. Is it any wonder that the label disabled carries such a negative connotation, or that a person feels stigmatized by it? Conversely, does a body without a single impairment even exist? Is it you? Do you know of one? I don't. My journey with disability has given me credentials to be a guide for my students' journeys. Not only do I have my own disability and teach kiddos with disabilities, but I'm the parent of a now adult, she's 36, child with a disability. When my daughter was in grade school, close to 30 years ago, we began teaching her all about her disability. We didn't want it to be some big monster under the bed, some big, unknown, scary thing. We knew that Amy needed to understand what she was dealing with. She became familiar with the words to describe the kind of help that worked for her. She practiced what she would say to her teacher to get her help. Amy would say, "Mr. Castro, can I talk to you after class? I have a disability that makes it really hard for me with reading. Can I have extra time for my report? Can my dad come in and read my test to me?" She hated it in the beginning, but as she became more familiar with her strengths and her limitations, she soon realized that she was a wondrously creative person, disabled in some areas, gifted in others. Amy hated having a disability. It meant she had to work so very hard. But by understanding the functional nature of her disability, and by being able to talk about it with her teacher and eventually her bosses, Amy overcame its negative impact on her life. And she never took a class in special education. We, my husband and I, her brother and I, we became her support system. Amy graduated from high school on the honor roll. She connected with vocational rehabilitation services right here in Flagstaff, and she graduated with honors also from Coconino Community College. She now owns her own business, and I gotta tell you, she has more business than she can handle on some days. She's as busy as she wants to be. Her disability never went away. She just refused to hide it away, and she refused to stay in the shadows. I'm proud of you. So you see, I have some interesting perspectives from which I approach this whole world of disabilities. As the parent of a child with a disability, as a teacher for kiddos with disabilities, and as a person who acquired a disability of my own. All of this has helped me be a better teacher and hopefully a better person. I know it sure has humbled me. I've embraced my disability, all aspects of it. My lousy memory, my struggle to find words, my numbing exhaustion, and the ever-constant pain. And I use it to help my students find ways to come to peace with their limitations. I help them discover the wholeness of who they are, instead of just identifying and trying to fix the skills they are lacking. By the time they come to me at 16 or 17, they've been trying to fix what's wrong in themselves for at least 10 years in the schools. And most of my students have grown weary of trying. They're emotional wrecks. And when I ask them to tell me about their disability, way too often I hear, "I don't got no disability. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't want to talk about it." From a child who was just trying to hide away from all of it. I won't let my students stay with me and pretend they don't have a disability. It's as bad as if they were hidden away. One of the first things we do is help our kiddos come to peace with who they are. All of it. Their brokenness, and for some, for the first time, we help them discover their wholeness. The skills and talents innate in who they are that are unique and hold value. Their skills and gifts that are compensable in the world of work. Their tender mercies that need nurtured so that they can be more loving in their relationships with others. It doesn't take long. And the kiddos who have come to us denying that they have a disability are soon able to talk about their assets, gifts, and strengths, as well as functionally explain the nature of what their disability is all about. Yes, it takes some time, but this is what helps our kiddos become whole, and it's worth the work. Last Thanksgiving, I took another dance with death. I contracted bacterial meningitis, another medical event from which most people don't survive. It left me with more neurological deficits to adjust to. I thought I was just having another bad head day and had taken my morphine and gone to bed. But when Denny, my ever-patient husband, tried to rouse me and check on me, he realized I was burning up with fever and I was incoherent. My 106-degree temperature put me in a coma for 5 days. It played havoc with my central nervous system. Added more twists to navigate with my brain damage and pain, but I was again blessed to live. My husband playfully tells me that God has been leveling the playing field for him in our marriage through all of these episodes. But the truth is, without Denny's loving care and devotion, I wouldn't be here tonight. Hope may begin in darkness, but it is realized in each new dawn. This year is the 16th anniversary of that cerebral hemorrhage. I will retire in June after teaching for 32 years. Each step of the way, I was upheld by the hands of all who have loved and supported me, including each one of the over 1,000 students I have taught. I have not kept my disabilities hidden. I talk about them with my students all the time. For in talking about my experiences, I help the kiddos understand their own. I help them find peace. I even help them start to find the humor in it all by using self-deprecating humor about my mistakes and my disability. I'm going to tell you a couple of corny jokes I use. Please, I understand, you don't have to laugh. But my kids, they used to say I was the only one on the block who really meant it. And they would say their mom had a screw loose. It could be true. Don't worry, they'd say, Mom's chemically addicted, but it's mainly only to the hairspray to cover her scars. Humor helps. It gives other people an understanding of how to deal with you. If you can find laughter, it puts other people at peace. I've come to believe there's really only one way to fight the stigma of disability. We have to talk about disabilities with our kiddos. We have to help them understand the nature of what's going on with their disability. We are the only ones still hiding away. Hiding it away in the shadows by not wanting to tell our kids all the details they need to know. We cannot let others' perceptions and ignorance keep us hidden away. And what you think you are protecting your kids from actually becomes much bigger in their own minds. For they know that something about them is wrong. Often, they're even more worried because that something must be very, very terrible if even their own parents won't talk about it. We must help our children fully understand the nature of their own disability, its functional impact on their lives, and be able to talk to other people about what simple accommodations assist them in fully participating in all of life. People with disabilities must get out and live life to the fullest. I show my students the beautiful gem in my wedding ring, explaining that even in its beauty, it too has flaws. And it is the light bouncing off of those flaws that help to make it so lovely. And I help them understand that they are no different than every beautiful gem everywhere else. More than I could have ever envisioned in my early dreams is the natural hope that now grows in the minds and hearts of the students I have served. For they have the confident expectation for a future of goodness, fully immersed right here in Flagstaff, that embraces and accepts them. Most of the students I work with will leave the schools with the full expectation of having a job. Most live with their natural families. They live, work, and play alongside each of us in this wonderful community. They tell me of their hopes of marriage, homes, and love in their lives. Their lives are rich enough now to know what hope is, and they claim it for themselves. Hidden away no more, as those students were so many years ago. They tell me they hope I get better on the days that are so hard for me. They know what life is, and they want all of it for themselves and for everyone they care for. Love and hope. They are so natural. Hidden disabilities? You just can't tell by looking. It's our job to make sure that each child fully understands the wholeness of who they are, what their disability is all about, and what their gifts are too. Social acceptance takes time. We can work together to break barriers down due to stigma, but only when we all stop hiding. You must remember that you have the same power to impact others. You have people watching you. Don't ever be ashamed. Not ever. Disability is just simply a part of who you are. If you are just one person, maybe you're deaf. Maybe you have epilepsy, or maybe you have MS, Todd. Maybe you're brain damaged like me. You need to come out of the shadows. Hidden disabilities, out of the shadows, hidden no more. Natural, normal. Just you. Just me.